Hey guys, Zach here with multipartstore.com. This is going to be one in a series of video overviews that's going to cover all of the different multi-tools that we carry parts for in our store at multipartstore.com. The purpose of these videos is just going to be to familiarize you with the different tools that are available, the different parts for those tools, and how those tools come from the factory for reassembly purposes and that sort of thing. This is not going to be a super comprehensive video, but it is going to be a broad overview so you can familiarize yourself with the tools before you purchase them. This video is going to be on the Gerber MP600. And I've got a surprise for you because we have a second one. Whoops. And that one is going to be a little bit different. So to start off, I'm going to set this aside. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to. These both come in Gerber's pretty basic nylon pouch with a Velcro. Those pouches do appear to be identical. You can see already I had, and I'm going to mention this now, this little tool fallout of this pouch came with the Gerber, and that is the tool for replacing the wire cutters, because some of our models are going to have replaceable wire cutters. I don't know if I have that size figured out yet, so I'm going to test here. I believe it's going to be a T8. Yes, so that's going to be a T8 there, and that is just a standard T8. And so if you're not familiar with the MP600, there are a lot of these available. There's a lot of minor variations. We carry two main types. We purchase two types and we part them out for you. The first is going to be the MP600 Scout Pro, or the MP600 Pro Scout, I believe. And the other is going to be the MP600 Blunt Nose. So the difference, there's going to be a different tool set on both of these, and there's going to be the different heads, which is, I think, pretty obvious by this point. We'll start there. Your standard MP600 is going to have needle nose heads, kind of like every other multi-tool. You've got, textured needle nose, a bolt gripping section, and then a standard wire cutter, which are bypass cutters. When you go to the blunt nose, you're getting a much blunter nose. Here's the front profile. You still have the bolt grabbing, and then you're going to have replaceable cutters. Those do have, if you can see there, a small hard wire cutting notch. I'm not super familiar with those cutters as of yet, so you'll have to look at the Gerber's literature to find out more. But these are both going to be roughly, or are going to be in the same line, and that's why we're talking about them together. The parts should, for the most part, be interchangeable, and of course you're getting that slide out mechanism that Gerber's known for. Starting with these two collapsed, you can see that you're going to have a little bit less sticking out on the blunt nose, but still some sticking out, which was a surprise to me. Your length on these is going to be between 4 3/4 of an inch and 5 1/8. Your width on both is going to be about 1 1/4 plus these bulges on the side. And your thickness is going to be just about 5/8 of an inch. And those are going to be the same across both of these. On the outside of both, we already talked about the plier differences. You're going to have riveted construction at the pivot. You're going to have these E-clips, which on this side is open. So these will spring off and allow the plier head free. You're also going to have these push buttons on either side, and those are locking tabs just to keep everything assembled. And those slide up, and when they get to the top, they drop into these, they pop out into these larger openings, the round openings there. So there's that mechanism. You're also going to have these locking mechanisms, which are spring-loaded and slide this way. On both, again, you are going to have the handles are riveted together. So if you purchase this, you're going to get all 4 handles together. But on one side, you've got Gerber multiplier. That is the captive side of the screw. And if you're familiar with these, you'll know that there's a free spinning side and a captive side. So this side would stay still, and the opposite side you would turn to get it loose. Above the Gerber multiplier, you have the centimeter side, which goes up to 8 centimeters. And on that side, this screw is not captive. This is the free spinning side. If I flip this over, you're going to have on the back of the centimeter side, you're going to have a blank scale or blank handle. On the back of the multiplier side, you're going to have your 1, 2, and 3 inch markings. Again, the inch markings is going to be free spinning. The blank side is going to be your captive pivot screw. And that is going to be exactly the same on all of your MP600 models. The locking mechanism is also the same on all of the MP600 models, as far as I'm aware. If I open these tools, oops, I didn't get that one all the way open. These have to be opened in order to access the interior tools, and that's where you're going to see some pretty substantial differences. So I'm going to start with the blunt nose. Now, this is the internal tools are the standard for the MP600 line. So you can get this with these plier heads, but the same tool set. So any MP600 should look pretty similar to this. Starting on the centimeters handle and working our way from front to back, you're going to have a fully serrated blade. Then you are going to have a lanyard ring, which does lock into place at this orientation. So if I close this blade, that is locked in place. So it's the serrated blade, the lanyard ring. Then it is a 3-dimensional Phillips. And then it is a can opener. And that is all that is on the centimeter side of the handles. I'll also, at this point, show, you can see that there's definitely some spacers between, let's see, this from the left to right is the serrated blade, then a spacer, then the lanyard ring, then a spacer, then the Phillips driver, then a spacer, and then the can opener. I don't believe there are spacers on either side of that, beyond that. Flipping around to the name brand, the branded side, which is also, again, the inch ruler. From front to back, we are going to have a file, which is double cut on one side and single cut on the other. We are going to have 3 screwdrivers, and 3 flathead screwdrivers, rather. If I can get these out, you'll be able to see a comparison in sizes. So it's going to go small, large, medium in this case. On the medium screwdriver, you are also getting a bottle opener. And finally, in the back, you are getting a fully straight Warncliffe style blade. If we close these up and we look from the end, you're going to see a spacer, a small spacer, just like before, between each of those layers. However, there appears to be, and I'm going to do what I can to confirm this, yes, there is a larger layer or a larger spacer inside of the file. So between the file and the small flat blade screwdriver is a larger spacer. I'm going to keep these flat blades out because I want to compare them for my own knowledge to the Scout. So I'm going to flip these 3 out. Moving over to the Scout, this is, let's start with the branded side. These are going to be, are these, no, yeah, so these are similar. So it's same as the 600, you're going to start with the file. Again, branded side, which is also the inch side. You're going to start with the file. Then you're going to get the can opener. And these can openers are identical. I've already checked this. They are completely the same. Then you're going to get 2 flat bladed screwdrivers. And I'm sorry, these are new, so these are very, very stiff. On those flat blades, let's see. Yeah, you're going to get the same, sorry, I'm comparing these in size. You're going to get the same, you're going to get the small and the medium flat blade. Those are the same as on the blunt nose. But then instead of the plain edge blade, the last, working our way back again, the last bit is going to be a pair of scissors. And if I can close all of this up, you can see that you're going to have scissors with a wire spring. Looking at it from the end for, you know, spacers and whatnot. Let's get this shut. From the end, you are going to have, again, the large spacer after the file. Everything else is small spacers. What's here is the wire, actually. So if that looks like a spacer, it's just the wire spring from the scissors. On the centimeter side of the handle, this is going to be quite a bit different. Let's see. So you're going to start with a Wharncliffe blade that is partially serrated. And if I compare that to the standard, it's going to look pretty much, I think it's identical. It's just got a different grind. It's got kind of this triangular serrations halfway down the blade. And that's because you only have the one blade on this. Then you're going to get the 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional Phillips, excuse me. That again, identical between the two models. And then finally, you're going to have the Rem Grit saw. And this is no longer branded Rem Grit, but I believe on the packaging it said Rem Grit. This is a gritty, abrasive saw blade. And that is placed in a, if I can get this out on camera, a T-shank blade holder. So you need you need the blades with the hole in them. And those will slip into here and lock in place. From the end, you're going to see that we have the same. We have one spacer between each layer. You're going to see what looks like a thick spacer there after the Rem Grit, which is on your left. But that is the wire or the sheet metal spring locking mechanism. So that's what you're seeing there. So again, that's the MP600 Pro Scout, which is what has the Rem Grit saw on it. And that's the standard MP600 blunt nose. Again, there are a ton of different MP600 models. They're all going to be similar, but they all have minor differences. So I can't guarantee that the parts are always interchangeable, but they tend to be, I believe. In fact, you know, some of these parts are identical and they are interchangeable. And the locking mechanisms are the same. So they should be interchangeable. Obviously you've got to worry about thicknesses. And I'd say, you know, shop for the tool that you want to start with and then expand it or change it from there. But there are a lot of different minor tool sets available. There's a bladeless model, I believe. And then you can get different plier heads with these two tool sets. Well, I think you can get different plier heads with the standard tool set, not necessarily with the Scout. I think that's only this tool set. But those are all of the different tools available for the MP600 line. They will also be interchangeable with the MP400 line if you've got those. I don't think that Gerber makes those anymore, unfortunately, but I really like them. They're a smaller version of this, but the interior tools should be interchangeable. So if you have any questions, my email is Zach, Z-A-C-H, at multipartsstore.com. On our website, we hope to have up soon a document page with a bunch of different information, including pivot sizes, screw sizes, and layer thickness charts. Before I go, because I've forgotten, we mentioned the screw pivots here. These are available from our website. They come in a 2-pack, and they are wrenches for opening each of these, for opening the Gerber tools. These ones have 4 lobes on them, and our wrenches are compatible with those, so you can put them on and spin them. I like to have a second one just so I can back this one up so it's not putting stress on the frame. And you can get a pair of these for $16.99 on our website now. If you have any questions, like I said, shoot me an email, send me a message, comment down below, and we'll get you sorted out. Thanks for watching. One thing I want to mention about the Gerber 600 tools that I forgot, and why I'm tacking this on to the end of the video, is that all of the tools should be compatible with the Gerber truss and suspension lines, back and forth. They all have the same locking geometry as well as pivot size. So they should be interchangeable. You just have to account for tool thickness as well as, the tool length, and make sure there's room for it in your setup. I've got a bit more detail on the MP600s. This is probably a little bit of information on any of the Gerber slide out tools. Here is the plier head once removed from the frame, and what you can see is there are springs. There's a few parts that come apart. So the spring, or the push buttons, come out, and the springs come out, and those push buttons have a little hollow on the backside that the spring drops into. If I can do this through the camera, and then that goes back into the side. So when you do remove these, those will fall out. We'll be packaging these in a bag alongside the plier heads for shipment. Hopefully that helps. And that should be the same on all plier heads. If it's different, I'll let you know. Cheers. I've got a small addendum for the Gerber MP600 and the Gerber truss video overviews. So I just pulled these parts. This one on the right, the can opener, or the bottle opener here, is from the MP600, and this combo tool is from the Gerber truss. And I have confirmed these are the same geometry for the lock. So these should be more or less interchangeable. And I just wanted to confirm that now that I have these apart and can confirm that that is the case.